A spoon mule is a combination of a vise and a workbench that makes holding the spoon blanks while carving a breeze. Two long arms are controlled by the carver's legs and provide terrific mechanical advantage, allowing the workpiece to be securely held while carving. This design can be built for under $50. Materials you'll need are 1 6-foot 1x6, 1 8-foot 2x6, 1 8-foot 2x4, 1 stain grade round pre-made 15-inch tabletop from Lowe's, some 2.5-inch deck screws, a few 3-inch deck screws, and 1 wire coat hanger. The spoon mule parts are front leg, back leg support, the spine, table support post extra supports, table, arms, tool holder, under seat support, and seat. Start by cutting the 6-foot 1x6 in half to make the two sides of the spine. Move on to making the cuts on the 2x4. Start by cutting the table support post at 17 inches. Then, move on to the front leg. You'll need to cut a 22.5 degree angle on one end, then measure 16.5 inches and make another 22.5 degree cut at the same angle. For the back legs, start at the other end of the 2x4 and cut two lengths of 18 inches. Set your table saw to 45 degrees and run each of those legs through the saw. Now cut the back leg support around 14 inches, also with the 45 degree miters. With the leftover section of 2x4, set your saw back to 90 degrees and trim the mitered end off, then cut two 3.5-inch parts to become the extra table supports. Now move on to the cuts on the 2x6. You'll need one 14-inch cut for the table and two cuts at 12 inches. One will be the underseat support, and the other will be the tool holder on the front. Next, cut the arms of the spoon mule from another section of the 2x6. Start by cutting them at 29 3/8 inches. Then ripping the pieces until they are 1 inch by 1 1/4 inches. Now you have all the major cuts complete. Let's move on to making the mortise and the table that the arms will go through. You'll want to mark a box that is 1 1/8 inches by 3.5 inches. Position it about 2 inches from the end of the table. At the drill press, use a 1 1/8 inch drill bit to hog out both ends of the box. Then you can use a jigsaw to cut the rest of the rectangle. You'll also probably need to use a chisel to refine the shape and ensure the arms fit without being too snug. Use a belt sander to gently round over the corners and edges of the table. The arms will need some additional shaping on the clamping end. Start by measuring 3/4 inch along the width. Make a mark, then measure down the length 2 3/4 inches and mark there. Connect the two marks and move over to the bandsaw to trim this portion off. Use the belt sander to flatten, then add a slight concave about 1/2 inch down from the top. This will help keep the work from slipping out when carving. Also, use the belt sander to soften the corners so they won't hurt the carver's legs when in use. Now for assembly. Start with the front leg. Put it between the two spine pieces and set them upside down and clamp while you use the 2.5-inch deck screws to connect them. Insert the 12-inch 2x6 under seat support at the back of the spine and use the 2.5-inch screws to secure. Temporarily clamp the table support 2x4 to the middle of the spine and use a level to adjust the height of the mule. Then use the 2.5-inch screws to attach the rear legs. Remove the temporary support in the middle and flip the mule over to attach the rear leg support. Screw these from both the inside and outside with 2.5-inch screws. Now use a mallet to insert the table support post near the front of the mule. Get the bottom of the post even with the bottom of the spine and make sure it's square. Screw in place with the 2.5-inch screws. Clamp the extra support post supports even with the top, making sure the grain is perpendicular to the upright support, and use 3-inch deck screws to secure. Attach the table with 3-inch deck screws, making sure one screw goes into each of the two side supports and the center post. Line the seat up and secure with 2.5-inch deck screws. Now drop the arms through the mortise on the table and let them rest on a 1/4-inch piece of wood on the floor. This will set the proper height for the arms. Use an 1/8-inch drill bit to drill through the side of the table into the mortise on each side. Let the drill bit mark the arms. Now, remove the arms and take them to the drill press and drill a 7/32 hole through each arm where they are marked. Now, reinstall the arms and cut a section of wire coat hanger and insert through the table and arms. For the tool holder on the front, mark 6 evenly spaced holes on each side and drill with a 3/4-inch drill bit. Then screw to the front with 2.5-inch screws. For the front of the table, add additional 3/4-inch holes for extra tool storage. Now the spoon mule is complete, and you can carve your days away.